Hi there, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We're not zoological experts, but we try to find the best information to drive those ratings.
I know, we're taking a lot of consideration here. It's not just straight off the cuff, straight from the hip. We would never do that. We would never compile all of our notes and completely forget to assign numbers.
Well,
neither of us in this room have ever done that before, Christian.
As far as the listener is concerned.
I shield them from so much. I fall on so many grenades for our listeners. I'm protecting you. You're all welcome. A silent protector.
Well, you know, best work is in the moment.
That's true. That's true. I'm really excited for this week because I have an animal to talk about that I thought was going to be really easy, and I thought it was going to be really simple, and I thought it was going to be just a very straightforward, easy peasy little quick and fun one. Not the case. I ended up about 4 pages deep.
Wow.
in notes. There's a lot going on with these little guys, so I'm very excited to tell you all about them.
Well, what are they?
They are Caribbean hermit crabs.
Okay.
Yeah, scientific name is Cenobita clypeatus. Hermit crabs were requested by Avi I.C. Ward, Scotty Universe, and Dylan Simmons. So thank you all for asking me to talk about hermit crabs.
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited about it. I have a little bit of personal experience with this one.
Oh?
Yeah, I have had pet hermit crabs. I couldn't tell you if it was this species, though.
How was the experience?
It was mid. I had these pet hermit crabs that I kept in a little, must have been about a 10-gallon tank in my bedroom when I was about 8. They lived for a while. I want to say I had them for at least a year, probably more than that. Very funky little dudes.
I imagine they're like wet bugs.
Now I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm so glad you went ahead and busted into that now. Because, I mean, there is a conversation to be had about, is crabs bugs? Is crabs bugs, Christian?
Well, I don't have the 4 pages in front of me.
This is just kind of an up to you sort of thing. Taxonomically, I mean, they're certainly not in the true bug group, but they're not even in the insect. But then that begs the question, where do you draw the line?
It's a culinary term, surely.
You think so? Oh, you think it's like calling things fruits and vegetables? Like, it's just a purely culinary distinction?
That's what Timon and Pumbaa taught me.
Oh, that's true,
I'm sure.
Yeah. What was it we ate recently that we were like, this must be what Timon and Pumbaa felt? Lychees. Yes, we had lychees for the first time ever, and we weren't expecting the texture. Lots
of fruit calls itself either flesh or meat of the fruit.
Right. And I never liked that. I never really liked why they call it the flesh.
This one earned it.
Yeah, this for sure. We ate lychees and we were like, oh, it's very meaty feeling. Yeah. It has almost like a raw steak sort of texture to it. Delicious. I loved it. I thought it was so good. But I loved having to like peel back the little like shell and then eat the flesh inside. It's a snacktivity, and I really like that. I enjoy that. I like having something to do with my hands. It's like a very interactive snack. But Christian didn't like that. It felt like you said this must be what Timon and Pumbaa felt like eating those grubs.
Yeah,
which I'm like, that sounds awesome. I really wanted it. Yes. Between the grubs from The Lion King and the cheese pull from the Goofy movie, we were sold a lot of very over-marketed food products that did not live up to expectations.
I'm still chasing that dragon.
Of the Goofy movie cheese pull? We'll get it someday. So hermit crabs. I'm kind of a bug anarchist. Like I think shrimps is bugs. I think crabs is bugs. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they're tasty.
I mean, if you're willing to call like a worm a bug.
I'm not, but...
Oh, okay, well, you're no fun. Maybe you should. You should try it. It's fun. Hermit crabs, if you're not particularly familiar with them, they're typically only about a few inches long, but they can reach up to 6 inches long. So they can get pretty big. Now, the Caribbean hermit crab, this species is found along coasts of the Western Atlantic Ocean, including the Caribbean islands, but also Florida and parts of South America. Okay. So you'll find them on beaches and in mangroves and in coastal areas like that. Now, there are over 800 species of hermit crabs, and 17 of them are terrestrial, including this one.
Really?
So this is one of the 17 species of hermit crabs that does live most of its mature life outside of the water.
Terrestrial, but still living beach life.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but I would even hesitate to call them like fully terrestrial because they still do rely heavily on water for important parts of their life. So I'll get into that a little bit more, but like they do spend most of their time out of the water on land. The closest relative to hermit crabs is the coconut crab, which are those big crabs that you'll see pictures of them like climbing up trash cans, and they're rumored to have eaten Amelia Earhart.
Yes.
Yeah, those ones. They're the closest relatives to the hermit crabs.
They were also featured in Octonauts.
Well, I mean, what isn't? They have everything on there.
Yeah.
Just a little note on carcinization.
Oh, boy.
So carcinization, if you have never heard of it, carcinization is this idea of all of these sort of non-crab-like forms independently developing into crab forms. So it's convergent evolution in which multiple lineages evolve into the same sort of crab-shaped form, despite not coming from similar beginnings. This is often called the hermit to king hypothesis, which is a reference to the evolutionary history of king crabs originating from a hermit crab ancestor. So those big, like Alaskan king crabs and stuff like that came from a hermit crab ancestor. Not like these hermit crabs or anything, but they originally had this sort of, funky little asymmetric spiral shaped hermit crab form. Yeah. So if this is anyone's first time listening to this podcast, we review animals by rating them out of 10. And the first category is effectiveness. This is tools built into the animal's body to let it do a good job of the things it's trying to do. For effectiveness, I'm giving the Caribbean hermit crab an 8 out of 10.
Okay. That's higher than I was
Higher
guessing.
Than you thought? You thought I was going to rake these poor little guys over the coals? You thought I was going to be roasting? Well, I roasted oarfish last time, so that's fair.
But now I'm curious.
Okay, so first of all, if you can't grow your own shell, store-bought is fine. So rather than a lot of animals with these hard external structures, like a mollusk, they don't actually grow the shell that they carry around with them. Hermit crabs have a soft exoskeleton as opposed to other crabs that have like a hard carapace, and they protect their body by making themselves at home inside of empty shells that have been left behind by mollusks.
Now you say left behind, but
I don't know if the hermit crabs ever forcefully vacating the home, like commandeering the home from a mollusk.
I guess what I more meant, like, it's not like the inside parts of the mollusk left. It's they died or were removed.
They have been erased from the inside of the shell. This is an empty shell. So the crab will kind of find one that fits it nicely. And then the abdomen, like you mentioned a minute ago, is kind of curled into a spiral shape so that they can like slide into the spiraling cavity of a snail shell and then hook onto the inside. And then they just grip onto it and then they're set. Now, a couple of notes on this. First of all, there have been very rare occurrences, but it does happen, of hermit crabs' abdomens spiraling to the left instead of the right.
Oh no.
Which makes it incredibly difficult for them to find a shell, because snail shells also tend to spiral to the right. So they have to find an equally left-handed snail shell to slot into if their body spirals to the left. Like, it's already tough finding a shell that's going to be like the right size for you. They have to do that and find one that's left-handed.
They have to rob from a left-handed graveyard.
I guess. I guess it is kind of grave robbing a little bit, to the extent that animals can have graves, I guess. So their dependence on other species for their own shells has unfortunately harmed them, which I'll go into a little bit more when we talk about conservation later. Basically, they rely on shells that have been made by another creature to protect their own body. That also means that as they grow, the shell cannot grow with them. The shell stays the same size. So as they like molt, actually when they need to molt, I remember my hermit crabs doing this, just like any other like arthropod that as it grows, the exoskeleton doesn't grow with it. So they have to shed their old skin and then grow a new one. They actually have to come out of the shell, bury themselves in sand, molt, like kind of in privacy, and then they'll come out and go back into the shell. It does kind of limit, like it's not something that can grow with them. It's something they will need to replace continuously throughout their life.
Right.
Which I will talk about a lot more in a couple minutes. Now, hermit crabs, when you look at one, you may notice that they have one little claw and one big claw. And that's not just the males, right? With like things like fiddler crabs, you'll see them have one big like claw because it's for like, impressing mates or fighting off competitors and stuff like that.
Big meaty claw, yeah.
Big meaty claw, yeah. For the hermit crabs, they all have one big claw. And that is because they use that claw to close up the shell when they withdraw inside. Oh. So they do like zoop up into the shell when they need to hide, and then they just kind of use that big claw, they like lay it against the opening of the shell to seal it off.
No crabs here.
Nope, I've never seen a crab. There's no crabs inside the shell. They can get really far back in there too. Like if it's like a nice roomy shell, they can almost like disappear around the corner. But they will use their claw to like block the entrance to the shell, which is interesting because snails have something called an operculum, which is what they use to seal off the entrance of their shell.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting that like crabs didn't evolve the shell, but they have adapted to the shell like in a similar way that the crabs do. They need something to block the door. And I mentioned earlier that they're not like 100% terrestrial. They can't live like their entire life with no access to water. So first of all, they still have gills like other crabs. So they actually do need to have some moisture on their gills in order to breathe. Like with no water, they could not breathe. They will definitely like suffocate without water. So they just keep a little stash of water inside their shell and like let it kind of provide humidity to their body inside of the shell. Huh. Isn't that neat? Like they just keep a little like puddle of water inside of the shell and carry it around with them so that like, I guess the evaporation inside of the shell keeps the humidity high enough that it like keeps their gills wet enough to breathe. Huh. Isn't that neat?
That is neat.
And I also was thinking about it, that's the exact opposite of the diving bell spider that you talked about in our last episode together. Like instead of having to carry around an air bubble, they have to carry around a water bubble. Yeah. Like SpongeBob going into Sandy's dome.
Right. That's surprising that that's enough oxygen, like just like basically water droplets on the outside of their shell.
Yeah, I don't know how frequently they need to like resupply. But I do remember from my own pet hermit crabs that having access to moisture was really important to them. And in fact, they needed to be provided with moisture, but I couldn't like just put a water dish in their tank because they could drown. So what you had to do, and I don't know if this is what you're still supposed to do for hermit crabs, but this is what I usually see people do with hermit crabs, is get a sponge, like a big wet sponge. And you'd leave a sponge in there that they could like suck moisture off of, which was pretty cool. You can also get this kind of like water gel, which is what you can feed to crickets too. Like if you keep crickets, I remember that, it's a water gel that they can get moisture from, but it won't like evaporate. It's pretty, or it won't like get dirty too, like water would. So, interesting ways you can keep your hermit crab from getting too thirsty. So, I think they're doing good with what they've got. It is maybe a little bit of a pain to have to like rely on an external shell, but I think a benefit to relying on an external shell that you haven't made yourself is that if it is broken or injured, they can get a new one. is discardable, right? Like you can, if something happens to it, you can just go get a new one. You're not so reliant on it. Like a snail or something, if there's damage to their shell, that's it. That's the one they've got. They can kind of heal it over time gradually, but like you can just snap them open, right? Like for a crab, if something happens to their shell, okay, I'll just go get a new one, you know? So I think there's a benefit to that, even though it would be nice if they just didn't have to do all that, because it is a major inconvenience.
Imagining one of the times they do need to return to the water is to find these shells, or at least close to the water. Yeah,
they can get kind of like close enough to the water that they can find the shells. Because also, you know, birds will take shells outside of the water. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because they also have to return to the water because female hermit crabs have to return to the sea to release their eggs into the water.
Oh.
Yeah, so the eggs, like when hermit crabs hatch, they actually spend the first like part of their life as plankton, like adrift in the sea. Like the larvae are like microscopic little plankton that just float around in the water. And then as they grow and they get bigger, they settle onto the floor, and then they come out of the water when they're ready to be a grown-up crab.
Oh.
Yeah. So they actually like do spend part of their life cycle in the water, which is why I don't know if you would call them completely terrestrial at that point, because they do have to spend the first part of their life in the water.
But I guess that kind of requires that their little larvae don't travel out into the middle of the ocean, huh?
That would suck. Oh no, you're going the wrong way.
Well, whale sharks got to eat too.
Put it in reverse, Terry. So for ingenuity for hermit crabs, which for us is just behaviors, ways that the animal is solving problems that they face or navigating the world around them, this, I'm giving the Caribbean hermit crab a 9 out of 10 for ingenuity. Makes sense. This is wild. This is off the chain. They're pulling off some very complicated maneuvers here. As hermit crabs grow, like I mentioned, the shells don't grow with them, which means that eventually their shell is going to get a little too tight, and they need to find a new shell that is big enough for their big boy body. So when there are a lot of crabs that all need to find new shells at the same time, they form something called a vacancy chain. Have you heard of this?
I have, yes.
This is incredible. So the largest crab moves into a new shell and leaves an empty shell behind. That shell is taken by the second largest crab, and the second largest crab's shell is taken by the third largest crab, and so on down the line until eventually everyone's got a new shell. Everyone kind of like moves up one. Now, this can happen either asynchronously, where biggest crab finds a new shell, just leaves theirs behind. Maybe later on in the day, a new crab comes by, picks up that shell. Yeah, it's just kind of like happening by chance. Like it's just kind of whenever is easiest. You know, this is like a more laid back sort of whenever it happens kind of approach. That's asynchronous vacancy chains. Or if the crab population is more dense, maybe there's lots of crabs on this beach, they may switch shells synchronously, which means that the largest crab is followed by a line of progressively smaller and smaller crabs, because they're all just waiting for that one crab to find a good shell so that that crab will move, and then they can all like domino line like into the new shell. So they just follow each other around, like waiting for them to all pop up into the next shell.
Now, when they queue up like this, is there any drama?
There's so much drama. So basically, like, let's say you've got a line of like 3 crabs already. New crab rolls up. That crab will kind of size everybody up by kind of basically stepping to these dudes and being like, hey, you know, I'm bigger than you. And they will have to kind of duke it out to see what your place in line is going to be. They will kind of have to fight each other for their place in line to try to get like higher and higher up in the line. So yes, there's drama in the crab queue, which is very funny. And also the way that this can happen is really interesting, because one crab might be looking for shells. It's looking for a new shell. It comes across a shell that it checks out. It might like, you know, move it around with its pinchers, kind of look around, check it out, feel it out with its antenna. And it determines, okay, this shell is way too big for me. I cannot fit into this shell. This is not good. But instead of just moving on to go find a different shell, it'll wait. It'll say, well, you know what? This shell isn't going to fit me, but somebody else might come along later who it's going to fit, and maybe I can take their shell. So the crab will wait at an ill-fitting shell in the hopes that a better fit will like come along. So eventually they'll just kind of all like line up for the shell, hoping that someone's going to come by and take it. Huh. And they can wait by a shell for up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're like really playing the long game. They're like, I know what I've got. It's like, I can imagine Facebook Marketplace for hermit crabs. 4-inch shell, pickup only. I know what I've got.
No low offers.
No low balls, yeah. Sometimes the crabs will do something called piggybacking on the crab in front of them by using their claws to hold on to the shell of the crab in front of them, and the bigger crab just kind of drags them around, and then you can get a line of crabs piggybacking, so that you get like... just this like conga line of poor little crabs all holding on for dear life. Which is like just like the ultimate dibs, right? Like, this is my shell, it was made for me, I'm clinging to it, like, you're gonna have to fight me for it.
There's a joke about the real estate market in there somewhere.
There is a joke about the real estate market. I'm getting to it in a minute. Don't worry, it's coming. And I'm getting this information from a paper called Social Context of Shell Acquisition in Cenobita clypeatus Hermit Crabs by Rondi D. Rotjan et al. In Behavioral Ecology in April of 2010. And I wanted to include this quote from the paper because I found it funny. Okay, listen to this. At some stations, multiple, 2 or 3, queues formed, each leading away from the vacant shell, which we term tug-of-war dynamics.
All right.
Multiple queues appeared to form when there were many similarly sized waiters, and crabs in these multiple queues appeared engaged in a tug-of-war for control of the vacant shell. The smallest crabs positioned at the end of each queue frequently switched back and forth between these multiple queues. So they're these warring factions of hermit crabs where they've got these 2 lines where each of them wants control over this empty shell, and then you've got these tiny little stragglers on the end who keep switching sides to be on the winning team. Because they just want to be with whoever's going to end up with the shell. Yeah. So they just keep switching back and forth. Which I think shows a remarkable like understanding of your situation. Like, true. If you're like a tiny little hermit crab, you have to be able to pay attention and be like, okay, it looks like this other line is going to get the shell, so I'm going to go join them because I want the shell.
Yeah.
So I found that to be quite a sophisticated understanding of like politics, you know?
So does the tug of war end after that initial shell has been claimed, or do they keep going as it goes down the line?
I mean, I'm sure the winner's gonna win, right? Like, they're gonna eventually shove out the losing team.
I guess I'm imagining it where like maybe one team gets it, they successfully transition, I don't know, the first 3 crabs. Mm-hmm. But
you think they just keep duking it out? Maybe
they try, but the crabs from the losing team that will no longer fit in the shell they're fighting over maybe just like deuces out of there. Like, I got nothing to win here. Whereas if they were smart and stuck around, they could help their team get that shell back.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a capture the flag sort of like like a king of the hill, like whoever can stay on the point longest. Yeah. I think the hermit crabs make better teammates than some people I've played Overwatch with.
Well, I was just thinking like it's probably not even teamwork. It's just crabs picking shells they want.
Never underestimate the power of a crab picking a shell they want. Okay, now you mentioned earlier that there's a joke about the real estate market here, and don't worry, the researchers had you covered.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes. So the concept of a vacancy chain is not exclusive to hermit crab shells. It can be applied to basically any system involving some sort of reusable resource, right? Any resource where, okay, what one person has, the next person can use, and like where people can sort of like all rotate up to the next available one. So usually this takes the asynchronous form, but the paper did include an example of a human synchronous vacancy chain. And I'll read from the paper. This is a quote. In many Boston, Massachusetts neighborhoods, there is an extremely competitive apartment rental market dominated by college students. Synchronous vacancy chains happen annually on the 1st of September, move out day, as many students move in and out of apartments with annual leases tied to academic schedules, thus creating a massive housing shift taking place on a single day. Have you heard of this?
No, but
I have seen this on TikTok. I remember seeing this on TikTok. September 1st is move out day, where I guess if you live in Boston, I don't live in Boston, so I haven't witnessed this happen, but on September 1st, like half of the entire city is all moving on the same day. And everyone's moving out and moving in, and like everyone's moving. On September 1st.
Okay.
Because that's when, like, it's like right before school starts, so it's when everyone's lease is up. So it's a sudden, like, synchronous vacancy chain.
Interesting. I guess I imagine they have pretty competitive housing there in general.
Right.
Because I know they require brokers for their apartments.
Yeah. You know, and I guess once you have a lease there, even long after you've gone to school, that's probably still your annual lease cycle. Your lease is probably still going to be up on September 1st, even though you're not in school anymore.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty funny little, like, example of a vacancy chain happening in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
I like when you can apply animal behavior to human behavior. Mm-hmm. Now, like you mentioned earlier, shell exchanges are not always peaceful affairs. So hermit crabs often fight each other for shells, even going as far as pulling each other out of the desired shell. Like, if they find a shell they really want, and its occupant is not finished with that shell yet, that is too bad. It is now. You are done. So they will reach right in and just yoink him right out of there.
That implies the aggressor is a better fit for the shell.
Or just bigger.
But not too big to not fit in that shell.
Yeah. Bigger than the current occupant, but yeah. But would still desire that shell.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could pull each other out of their shells. They have a lot of different ways of expressing aggression towards each other that, like, before it escalates to them fully fighting each other, including waving their claws and antenna at each other, and something that I have seen described as rapping, which I know logically in my brain here means knocking.
Oh, like in the Edgar Allan Poe sense.
Like in The Raven okay. by Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping on my chamber door, which does mean knocking. But it is really funny to me to imagine that the hermit crabs are dropping diss tracks.
I hate the way that you walk.
The way that you dress in that stupid shell that I could be wearing. Which, okay, this has led to what I consider to be an extremely funny paper title that I don't think was intended to be funny. Mm-hmm. The paper is titled, "The Angle of Attack. Rapping Technique Predicts Skill in Hermit Crab Contests." That was by Sarah Lane et al. In Animal Behavior in May of 2022. Incredible title. Rapping Technique Predicts Skill in Hermit Crab Contests. Which is now like, okay, we've got a full-on like contest going on. It's a hermit crab rapping contest. Mm-hmm. And I really, fan artists out there, get on it, please. Whoever can write me a hermit crab diss track will be my best friend, because that is great. There's got to be a lot of room for puns in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Finally, aesthetics for the Caribbean hermit crab. I'm giving them an 8 out of 10. I think they're the cutest crab. I can't think of a crab that I think is cuter than the hermit crab. Pom-pom crabs, maybe.
They're close.
But hermit crabs, I'll tell you what I like about a hermit crab. I like that the eye stalks have a little bit of a puppy dog sort of like upward tilt to them, you know? So they have a very endearing and sort of innocent quality to the eyes. Do you know what I mean? And like, they're just, the way that they kind of like bunch up into their shell, they look so shy, and like, there's something I really like about that. That's very nice. Sometimes people put them in glass shells so that they can see the inside of the hermit crab's body. I see the vision. I get it. Don't do that. That is not good for the hermit crab. Glass is like not a good material for their shell to be made out of. It's not porous, so it doesn't like allow the sort of like gas exchange, I think, that they need for like their moisture retention in their shell. It's also very brittle, so it could break and injure the hermit crab. Plus, it provides no shade. It doesn't give them any shade, so they could be exposed to the sun. And it's very stressful. When they like pull into their shell, it's to hide. So if they're pulling into their shell and they're not hidden, they're going to be stressed out.
Everyone's seeing your bits and bobs.
It's embarrassing. It's inappropriate. Have some decorum. Allow her some modesty.
Could you imagine the diss tracks?
Making it too easy for the Kendrick Lamar of crabs. Okay, so finally to wrap things up for Caribbean
Kendrick Lamar.
Lamar, like the sea?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that one. That one's pretty good.
Deep, isn't it?
Like the ocean. That was okay. That was okay. You can do, but you think on it and then you blurt it out when you think about it. Okay. So finally, to wrap things up for the Caribbean hermit crab, their conservation status is not listed on the IUCN, but the government of Bermuda lists their population of Caribbean hermit crabs as vulnerable. So a lot of the conservation information I'm getting here comes from the government of Bermuda's Department of Environment and Natural Resources website. So a few big threats to hermit crabs include beach pollution, like plastic bottles and jugs, which might have a small opening with like a sloped sort of interior. The crab can get into the bottle and cannot get back out. Oh, no. They're not good at climbing up smooth surfaces. They could climb up something like a tree, but they can't climb up like a smooth plastic surface. So if they fall into a bottle, they can't get back out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So plastic pollution is really bad for hermit crabs. Also, like I mentioned earlier, they are reliant on other marine species for their shells.
Right.
So the decline of other marine species means that the hermit crabs don't have as many shells that they can use, and then you'll see a decline in hermit crabs too. So for example, in Bermuda, Europeans that colonized the island over-harvested the West Indian topshell snail, which was a preferred host, like a preferred sort of shell for hermit crabs, to the point of local extinction. Like the species of snail was no longer found in Bermuda. They ate so many of them. And so since the snail was gone, the hermit crab population suffered.
Wait, they were collecting them to eat the snails?
To eat the snails, yes. It was a very edible snail. Maybe it's delicious. I don't know. I don't eat snails, but you like snails.
I've only had it in the escargot context.
Well, there you go. That's probably about what it was. They loved escargot so much. But
I think that's just because I love butter.
That's true. It's a butter boat. It's a delivery vessel for butter. But another threat to hermit crabs is also coastal habitat loss. So as the mangroves and beaches that they call home are being developed, right? This is something that we saw a lot in the coastal area that we came from. The coastline is eroded, and it's also like being developed and torn down, and the natural barriers that are there to protect those areas from storm damage, they're not there anymore, and then the whole area gets wrecked by a hurricane. And then that's not good for anybody. But also, tearing down the mangroves. Everybody's going to have a bad time, including the hermit crabs. So while the species hasn't been put on the IUCN Red List, there are a lot of things that could threaten them. So, be a good steward of your beach if you care about little hermit crabs. And also, just a final little note, this is one of the most common species of hermit crab that is sold and kept as pets. There are like a few different species that you'll see kept as pets and like sold literally just like on the roadside, right? Like you can just like gift shops and stuff just have these little hermit crabs and you can buy them, and people just don't really take them seriously because it's just a little crab that you would like pick up off the beach, right?
Sure.
People really don't take them seriously, but if cared for properly and really like invested in, they can live for decades.
Really?
They can live for like 30, 40 years.
Wow.
And they can get really big. So like, do better. Put the effort in to research, the care that goes into a hermit crab and take them seriously, like give them what they need, provide enough space, provide, the sand and the salt water and everything that they need, and like take good care of your hermit crab. I think it's a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Even though mine pinched me once. That was my fault, though.
Oh.
I mean, I was like 8, right? I was very sort of hands-on, and I like handled my hermit crabs a lot. And one time, one of them pinched me and wouldn't let go, and I had to go run and go get my mom to get the hermit crab off. Yeah, I died.
Aw.
Killed me dead. It was one of the rare venomous hermit crabs that just...
Oh, Crabric Lemaire.
No. I'm not giving you that one. You spent all this time and that's all you got? I'm going to need a good...
I have to listen too.
I'm going to need a good Crab Kendrick Lamar pun on my desk by 5 p.m. by close of business.
Tomorrow's a holiday, sorry.
Oh, that's true. Tomorrow's a holiday, so never mind. And that is hermit crabs. I love hermit crabs. I think they're delightful and a good friend.
Sound like it.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Maximum Fun Network, and then we'll get to your animal.
All right.
Hello, sleepyheads. Sleeping with Celebrities is your podcast pillow pal. We talk to remarkable people about unremarkable topics, all to help you slow down your brain and drift off to sleep. For instance, we have the remarkable Neil Gaiman.
I'd always had a vague interest in live culture, food preparation.
Sleeping with Celebrities, hosted by me, John Moe, on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts. Night-night.
You can't really know if your own show is any good.
So I asked my kids about ours. Is Jordan Jesse Go a good show?
No, definitely not. It's really bad.
I would say out of 10, maybe like a 4 out of 10.
It's just really boring. Yeah, 0.
Subscribe to Jordan Jesse Go.
A comedy show for grown-ups.
So, my love, what animal do you have for us this week?
This week, I'll be talking about the American flamingo.
Bringing home our beachy Caribbean theme of this week's episode.
Because the species is also known as the Caribbean flamingo.
Amazing.
Scientific name, here we go, Phenacopterus ruber. Now, this species was submitted by Sydney Cooper. Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you.
And I'm getting my information from the National Zoo, National Geographic, and also Animal Diversity Web. So first, what is a flamingo?
What's a flamingo?
It is a very large bird. Now, I wanted to make sure to describe this because I didn't want to do that thing where I take it for granted and assume everyone knows what a flamingo is. That is because with us being from Florida, we are perhaps more familiar with flamingos than the average person.
I guess I would be surprised if I came across someone not knowing what a flamingo was.
True. Now, a flamingo is a large bird, famously with pink feathers and pink legs and a very oddly shaped bill.
They're kind of S-shaped. The whole bird is kind of S-shaped.
A little bit, yeah. They have a long bending neck. They have long spindly legs with webbed feet at the end. They are flighted. They can fly. They fly for quite some distances, too.
They're very lanky.
Yeah.
Lanky, a skinny, noodly sort of bird.
Yeah, so they're primarily pink. They have some white and black in their face, and they have some black feathers as well.
Oh, yeah, on the bottom of the wings. If you see them in flight, you can see the black feathers on the wings. When they're just standing there with their wings tucked up, you really can barely tell they have any black feathers at all.
Right.
It's a fun surprise.
Yeah. They can be 5 feet tall.
It's pretty tall.
Or 1.5 meters and weigh 4 to 8 pounds or 1.8 to 3.6 kilograms.
Do you want to know how big flamingos are?
How big?
I have been chased and attacked by a flamingo.
Oh, yeah? Did you win?
No, I died.
Was this before or after the hermit crab death?
The what?
Was this before or after the hermit crab death?
This is an episode where I have to relive a lot of trauma related to these animals.
What was it like taking so many L's as a child?
You know why? Is because I couldn't leave them alone. I couldn't leave animals alone. I was always getting myself into these situations.
I smell rematch.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you, this was at Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida. And I don't totally remember the context, but for whatever reason, I was in a situation where they allowed kids to be in some sort of enclosed area with this flock of flamingos. And I don't know what it was, but at some point, one of these flamingos decided the vibes were off and they were not all about me.
Okay.
And this flamingo, I'm not kidding, rushed me, like fully like body checked me and started like running up to me. And I got scared. So I started running and screaming from this flamingo and it started like pick up the pace. And I got scared and I ran back and my dad never stopped making fun of me about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He thought it was the funniest thing that had ever happened, ever.
Was he present to see it?
He was. He witnessed
okay.
this entire thing and did nothing.
Well, were you perhaps eyeballing its food?
I mean, I clearly thought that I was.
Well, that's
the time I got attacked by a flamingo.
You probably could have taken it if it helps.
That's true.
Because it's 5 feet tall, but it weighs, what, 5 pounds?
So with me at the time having been about 7 years old, what angle do you think I should have taken with this flamingo? Do you think I should have just sort of gone for the neck?
Taking it to the ground.
That's true. Negate that height advantage because now
it has very few grabby things.
Oh yeah, I could have had it, I bet.
Okay, serious mode.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'll stop making jokes now.
So it is one of the largest species of flamingo, and the males are slightly larger. But other than that, that's all the sexual dimorphism between males and females.
That would be funny if they were like, oh, the males are blue because pink's a girl color. Turns out it's not.
No.
The males are pink.
Pink's for everyone.
Pink's in everyone color.
Yeah. Now, here's where they can be found. The Caribbean islands, the northernmost coast of South America, and historically, some small areas in the southernmost areas of the United States, like Florida. And specifically, they are found in shallows of salt or brackish water and alkaline lakes.
Postcards would lead you to believe that they're found all over
everywhere.
Florida. Everywhere, all the time.
I have a little bit about that at the end.
Oh, please.
They belong to the taxonomic family Phenacopteridae, which is the flamingos, and has 6 species.
Oh.
Now, in terms of other relatives, they are the only extant family in their order, meaning one step above that is the Aves class, or all birds.
So they're really kind of a unique bird.
In the current category, yeah.
Interesting. You know what? I remember this coming up when I was doing the grebe, I think, the crested grebe.
I actually have it right here. There's a potential relationship with grebes.
Yeah, I remember coming across this. Yeah, because it was like a really weird sort of like, are you sure?
Yeah.
These two? Like, there are other things that appear to be way more closely related to both of them. And
well, I would say there's nothing that looks like flamingos, but
spoonbills.
Sort of. With the feathers. Yeah. But like the bill shape of the flamingo, that is
very unique. Yeah.
It's basically, I'll touch on this here shortly, actually.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, pretty unique bird taxonomically. There's some other extinct families in that order that they would be more related to.
Giant flamingos?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
What if, hear me out, like T-Rex flamingo?
Now, something that is a little unsettling about flamingos, I think, are their eyes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They have these big wide, well, I mean not big, but they're like perfectly circular, and so are the pupils.
Piercing, like yellow. Are they yellow or red?
They are yellow, yeah.
But you know how like in more modern movies and stuff, like people are doing dinosaurs with the feathers now? T-Rex with flamingo feathers.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
It'd be cool.
Apple TV, get at me. Prehistoric Planet, Season 3.
Yeah. Giant flamingo. So, our first category of effectiveness, I'm giving an 8 out of 10. And the first thing I want to kind of talk about here is their bird leg anatomy. So, a lot of big birds like this have spindly legs. You might think of them as having what would be a backwards bending knee.
Yeah, it's not something you notice as being terribly different from ours until you really think about the way that our knees bend and the way that theirs don't.
I got something crazy for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
That is not the joint that is analogous to their knee. That is their ankle.
Oh, no, that's too high up. Your ankles don't go there.
But it explains the bend.
I guess it does. It makes more sense. Then where is their knee?
It's further up, closer to their body.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's creepy and weird. So it's like, okay, so the part that they're bending is more like their ankle, and then the part where we're thinking of as their ankle, I guess, is their like toes?
Yeah, so down the end is like where the toes meet the foot, basically.
Interesting. Oh, that's weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do this one-footed standing where their other foot is tucked up into their body. There's lots of theories on why they do this.
This seems like a lot of wasted potential. You're operating at 50% foot efficiency at any given time.
One of the theories, though, is that it helps conserve body heat, especially when standing in water. Yeah.
Like as in like...
Not losing body heat to the water.
Oh, because they have webbed feet. So like there's a lot of surface area there. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not getting cold feet.
So that's one theory. There are some others out there too. Now their
that
diet
clearly didn't warrant mention here.
I found too many things to talk about. So now their diet, big part of all this. They eat algae, small seeds, brine shrimp, and other aquatic invertebrates in the water. Basically whatever they can get into their bills.
Sure.
So their bills, first of all, it's uniquely shaped. Their bills have comb-like plates that let them filter food from the water.
Okay, like a whale, like baleen almost.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're dipping their bill and usually their whole head in the water, taking in that water and basically filter feeding it. So now their bill is interesting because it's essentially upside down compared to most birds, in that the lower portion is bigger than the top portion.
Okay.
And also, how most birds and mammals with a mouth, the lower mandible is the one that moves. Not in flamingos. It's the top one that moves.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
So imagine like the bottom jaw is fused to the skull, but it has a top jaw that is not and is moving up and down.
Oh.
I think the finger wag I just did does a lot of work there that the listener's not going to see.
Gnarly.
So this is very unique, like even not just birds, but also mammals.
Right.
So,
like that is very unusual. But also they're having to like dip it into the water with their whole head. They're having to kind of like dunk it in upside down.
So I've seen a couple differences here. Like if it's especially shallow, it's just the bill. But if it's pretty deep water, they might stick their whole head in there.
That's hilarious. Imagine if every time you wanted to like take a bite of a cheeseburger, you had to like stuff your whole face in it.
Yeah. And the final thing here is they have muscular tongues that assist with pumping the water out of those bills.
Oh, I've heard of this before, that they're kind of like pushing, they're like forcing the water back out to kind of make sure that they're winding up with only what they want left in their bill.
Exactly. So we mentioned their long necks, very serpent-like, I think. They need to rest those necks, so they have to rest their heads on their body to avoid fatiguing them. So oftentimes when they're doing that one-legged stand, they're also have their head coiled back and it's resting on their body.
It is really cute.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that they have to rest their neck though, because why make your neck like that at that point?
It's to help with the bending down. And, yeah.
Then make your legs shorter. Why do you have such long legs if it makes you have to have this long neck that then you have to rest?
You ask too much.
I have notes.
They do have water needs, so they require a nearby source of fresh water since their feeding usually takes place in very salty water. So it's a little bit of limitation on where they can be. So like many large birds that fly, they need a running start. So they can do this running start in both water and land. So water meaning water that they can stand in. Like,
oh, okay. They're not
Jesusing
it.
No, they're not Naruto running across the water. There it is. I got it
Oh,
in.
you did it. I'm so proud of you.
So yeah. And also when they're in flight, they leave their legs fully extended behind them. I think herons do this too.
Nice.
Yeah. Also fully extended is their neck in flight. So they're extremely long when flying.
It is very silly looking. They're T-posing through the air. Like
it's like a broomstick. They also have some pretty impressive longevity. So typically they live to 25 years in the wild or 30 years in captivity. However, the oldest flamingo was 83 at the Adelaide Zoo in Australia.
83? Was they still pink?
Probably.
I'm just wondering if how our hair gets gray. I wonder if the flamingos like go white over time?
I have some info on the coloration of that feather, not necessarily as it relates to age, but there's some interesting mechanics behind that coloration. Another example of that longevity is a greater flamingo, Gertrude. She laid her first egg at the age of 70 at a nature reserve in England.
You go, girl. Your first egg at 70.
It's the new 60.
I mean, it's never too late in life.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
That was a cool story. The keepers were very excited for her, that, she seemed to be enjoying the process. I don't think the egg hatched or anything, but I don't know.
Good for her.
Yeah. That was from an article titled, "An Unlucky in Love Flamingo recently laid her first egg. She's 70." By Cathay Free in the Washington Post in 2024.
They did not have to call her unlucky in love. They're going to bring her love life into this.
Yeah. So I think this part of the story was she, I want to say mated with a male flamingo, which was also a first for her.
She's a late bloomer. Leave her alone.
Yeah. She had other things to do. Other flamingo
She had a career.
She had many shrimp to eat.
Lots of shrimp to eat.
The final thing for effectiveness I wanted to bring up is they're pretty susceptible to impacts by pollution and contaminants in water.
Oh, because they're filtering water through their bills.
They're often found where bodies of water are meeting the ocean, and those areas are very often downstream from human activity.
Oh, I guess runoff is going to really damage them.
Yeah. So not enough to affect their overall population, but definitely locally. Our next category of ingenuity, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
You're clever.
Very social birds. So they congregate into groups of thousands sometimes.
Oh, wow. Goodness.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the smell?
Oh, yeah.
Nasty. Because already birds don't smell great.
This one is eating tiny,
It's in like salt marsh over like with shrimp, and it's got to be just the nastiest smell.
Well, that being said, this is all very good for avoiding predators.
They don't want to come anywhere near that situation. They're like, that's disgusting.
So it's a couple things. So this environment, not very many predators will live there. Flamingos are not because of the high salinity areas. But also this grouping of thousands of birds is great for avoiding predators, because if one gets spooked, that's going to trigger like the whole group of birds to fly off, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. They have very interesting social interactions with each other. One that I thought was interesting was I mentioned they have to rest their heads on their body. Mm-hmm. So even choosing which side to lay their head on will communicate something differently to the other birds around them.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
So like basically my understanding is if they laid their head on the left-hand side, it basically says, I don't know, like I'm open to some aggressive behavior right now.
I'm open to some aggressive behavior.
I word it like that because it seems like the birds that do that engage with more aggressive behavior, like with other birds.
I need some sort of way to indicate I'm open to some aggressive behavior. Like, I need some sort of mood indicator.
You remember how in Joko, they had the pens that said, talk to me or don't talk to me?
They have these two different types of pens. One of them was green and it said like, yes, I'm willing to make new friends.
Yes.
And another one was red and it said, no, I don't want to make new friends right now.
I want a pen that says, I want to make new enemies. Fight me.
Open to new foes. Searching for ops.
Accepting combat challenges.
PvP enabled.
Yeah. Oh, and I joked about this with you earlier, but they're normally very social except when feeding, in which they are very territorial.
So absolutely not.
Yes.
And combined with like having very sort of specific social cues with each other, is reminding me a lot of like fine dining etiquette about like where your knife and fork are placed, and like the placement of your utensils on your plate indicate like whether you're done eating or you're coming back to the table, like all this stuff that I don't understand.
And if you put the knife at a 45-degree angle, that means you want to participate in a knife fight. So
you're open to some aggressive behavior.
And when they do fight amongst themselves, they do something called bill fencing. So they're basically, trying to peck at each other with their bills.
I know that guy.
Bill Fencing?
Yeah, Bill Fencing.
His brother, Gary Gutters. Took his wife's name.
Yeah. That's so progressive of him. Good job.
They even have group-based breeding displays. Yeah. So up to thousands of birds will synchronize movements like opening their wings or lifting up and turning their heads all at the same time.
Oh, this is really cool. I've seen them do this. It's very fun to watch.
Yes. So it's basically all of them agreeing to like, the time is now. Go.
We must dance as one.
Yeah.
This new season of Bridgerton is great.
They do lots of vocalizations, very similar to the Canadian geese that we're used to, in that they do lots of honking.
We love a honk.
Yeah.
We love a bird that honks.
Even the chicks will start honking in the egg before hatching.
In the egg?
Letting the parents get familiar with their unique call before they're even hatched.
Oh my goodness. It's like how they say that like human babies can hear their parents' voice in the womb, but this is the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want you to hear me. I'm about to be your problem.
I'm just imagining what Finley's pregnancy was like. How distressed I would be if I could hear the sounds of an infant crying coming from your stomach.
No. I'm going to give that mental image back to you.
All right, thanks.
You can have that back. I won't be holding on to that one.
Their eating strategy is interesting. So we talked about what the physical adaptations that let them feed that way, but what they do is they'll feed in shallow waters that they can at least stand in, by using their feet to stir up the mud to disturb little bitty creatures living in there.
Is this where they do the little footloose dance? Where they kind of go do like the tippy tappies?
No, not really. It's more just dragging their feet while walking from what I saw.
That's less fun.
So they'll disturb the mud with their feet, and then they'll use their bills in the water to sift out food that they've disturbed. They do build nests. They build nests on the ground. They are made of mud, and they are shaped like a volcano.
A volcano nest! That's so fun!
And they lay a single egg in it.
So the little baby erupts out of the volcano.
So yeah, they lay that single egg that incubates for 28 days. Now here's something interesting. So I think a group of flamingos gets called a flamboyance or something like that.
How much of a tangent do you want on this?
None.
Okay.
Because here's the important one.
Okay, let's hear it.
A group of young flamingos is called a creche.
Like the Gith Yankee.
Yes. So they form these groups after they're able to walk and swim. So it's a bunch of little young flamingos grouping up together, and they can be up to 300,000 birds in a creche. And they're still fed by their parents, but guarded by unrelated adults.
Who just are there.
They have childcare, I guess.
Happen to be there. How revolutionary. What a concept.
Yeah.
They have communal childcare.
So I didn't have enough time to look into this, but this is the first time I've heard the word creche outside of Baldur's Gate. It makes sense that it comes from something else. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if because the Githyanki are often compared to amphibians or frogs in some way. But I'm wondering if it's in some other animal groups that we've used that word.
I've only ever heard that word outside of Baldur's Gate. I've heard it used to refer to groups of young.
Oh, okay.
But I have heard it used for crocodilians as well. Because it's not a lot of like reptilians keep their young in a group, but crocodilians do. So I've heard it for crocodilians.
I see. Interesting.
But here's the thing. A lot of times you'll see that like, a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, and it's like included as like a little fun fact or something like that. I guarantee you bet money you scroll down like 2 paragraphs, you will see that exact same page calling them just a flock or a colony.
Sure.
Like that, you will only ever, I promise you will only ever see that word used in a like, did you know sort of context, never in actual practice. Never. Does anyone actually use that term like in the context they claim it like means it in? Like you will never see them actually use it to refer to the flock of flamingos. It is just a factoid that gets flying around. Like with most silly terms of venery. That's the end of, I'm cutting myself off there.
That was more than 0 tangent, just so you know.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't. I have a problem. I have really strong opinions on terms of venery. And
I'm going to sneak that in more, I think.
Are you going to do a tangent quota? Do I have a tangent cap? I used mine up for this episode long ago.
Yeah. They do migrations. They can do some very long distance migrations and some short distance migrations because they can fly for quite a while. This is not like chicken flight. they can fully fly.
Yeah.
So they'll most often do this for food, or if some other event happens that makes their current location not viable anymore.
A knife fight, perhaps.
One too many flamingos.
Or hippos moving.
Yeah. What's interesting though is they don't really like revisit the places they've been, like not on purpose, or they don't do the thing where like they return to the place of their birth to give young. They don't do that. They're really just following the food.
Once they're done, they're done. That place had a bad Yelp review. We're not going back.
So yeah, that's their ingenuity. I thought it was pretty interesting.
For sure.
Last category, aesthetics, full 10 out of 10.
This is a lovely bird.
Yes. So the coloration.
Yes.
That pink coloration in their feathers comes from eating things that have carotenoids, which comes from crustaceans primarily. So here's the thing about that coloration though. It fades in sunlight.
In sunlight?
Yes.
What do you mean?
So the carotenoids that are causing that pigmentation will fade in sunlight.
Really? Like they break down in the sunlight?
Well, it kind of reminded me of the human infant lamps in hospitals to break down.
Oh, for jaundice.
Yeah, to bilirubin, I think.
Yeah.
Completely different thing, but it's the same.
Well, when Finley was born, he had a little bit of a yellow tint to him,
Yeah.
and we like asked the doctor if everything was okay, and she was like, "Sometimes they're like that. Put them in the sun for a little while." And we're like, "Okay."
So here's the thing with this. So for them to remain pink, they have to continue intaking things with that compound.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's something that kind of saved them historically, I think.
Really?
In that because their feathers will fade in the sunlight without the flamingo eating that food, that makes our feathers less valuable for poaching.
Oh, that's true. Because like if the flamingo's dead, you separate it from the flamingo, it's not going to stay pink.
Right. Unless you keep it out of sunlight entirely.
Or dye it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there are any birds with pink feathers that stay pink. Because spoonbills, same thing. Like you take the feather out and it's going to fade. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting, but that would be very helpful.
Now, they have been overhunted in some places, but I got to assume that this part of it saved them from even more overhunting.
Yeah, it's maybe like having like a live flower or something like that. Like it's going to wilt. It's not going to be good for that long.
Yeah. Now, females will obtain that coloration a little younger than their male counterparts. And like we mentioned earlier, they do have black flight feathers that you can only really see when they're flying. This is a good time to mention what the babies look like.
Please.
So when the babies are born, they have like white gray feathers, and so is their skin. It takes years and several molts for that pink coloration to come in.
And they look so silly when they're babies.
They're a little awkward. I would say they're pretty cute as far as bird babies go.
That's true. You can do a lot worse with a bird baby.
Yeah.
You seen pelicans?
No, not specifically.
Baby pelicans?
I don't think so.
Don't.
All right, I won't.
Save yourself.
So because that coloration is diet driven and is also not prevalent in one sex over the other, it's not thought to be part of, mating displays directly. However, it's thought that it could be a sign of nutritional health for mate selection. Oh. So like the stronger pink, the maybe more nutritionally healthy that particular bird is.
That's true. Maybe like an indicator of vitality, right? Like, hey, look how well off I am. Yeah. It's a flex.
I kick mud real good.
I'm the best mud kicker. Won the mud kicking competition.
Wrapping it up here, they have a conservation status of least concern. And the last thing I want to talk about is the association with Florida.
Please, what happened
So
here?
First and foremost, I lived almost 30 years in Florida. Not once had I seen a wild flamingo.
No, I never saw one either.
Yeah.
We didn't spend a lot of time in South Florida,
True.
though.
So according to the Florida, put an acronym here, but forgot what it was and didn't write it down. FWC.
Fish and Wildlife Commission.
That makes sense. Fish and Wildlife Commission. The flamingos were once native to Florida, but disappeared around the turn of the 20th century.
Why did they do that? What could have possibly happened around the turn of the 20th century?
Probably, habitat loss, overhunting, etc. But why it's so widely associated today over 100 years later.
Right.
That's mostly due to an iconic hotel, the Flamingo Hotel in Miami in the 1920s.
Oh.
And then that was very successful for them, and other businesses kind of ran with that marketing trend.
So then you see like flamingo imagery.
Yeah.
Right. Like being kind of, it's incorporated into like architecture and
Just
postcards.
PR and marketing and tourism.
And then you get lawn flamingos.
Yeah.
Which are definitely a thing. Lawn flamingos are kind of cute, though. I think lawn flamingos are cute.
The flamingo, I guess, blueprint lends itself to a lawn decoration.
It does, because they have these sort of natural, like, spokes.
Yeah.
That you can just stake straight into the ground.
Have you been to the airport that has a big flamingo art thing?
Which airport is that?
I think that's either Tampa or St. Pete. That has a big, like, giant flamingo.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's culturally significant, even though not having much actual presence.
Are you aware of the flamingo Pokemon?
No.
Flamigo?
Okay. That was the latest generation?
Yes, in Gen 9. It's controversial.
Why?
So a lot of people really don't like Flamigo's design because it is literally just a flamingo. It's like a slightly like cartoonish stylized flamingo, but it is literally a flamingo. There's no like, it's a flamingo, but...
I mean, we can't all be some keys or an ice cream.
Like
some cogs.
There's no like, sometimes they'll take like, oh, it's this animal, but it's slimy, or oh, it's this animal, but it's got electric bolts or something like that, and it's just a flamingo.
Wasn't this the same generation with the mussel dolphin?
Yes, which I don't want to talk about.
All right.
I don't like the mussel dolphin. But I don't know. I'm not mad about it because there are a lot of Pokemon designs that are just...
Is it cute?
Is cute.
Well, there you go.
That's all that matters to me. I don't care. I like Flamingo. I thought it was cute. I was excited to see it.
What is the shiny coloration, out of curiosity?
That's a good question. I'm going to be so mad if it's just like...
Gray.
It's going to be like one hex digit away. It's like a pale... It's like white.
Maybe that's a reference to their young coloration.
Maybe it's like the flamingo without the pigmentation.
That's another thing. They have to be fed a particular diet in captivity to sustain that coloration too.
That would be funny if like they're like, well, we could feed it other stuff, but we have to feed it this so that people will come see our flamingos because they like them to be pink.
Yeah, they're gonna riot if they ain't pink.
Yeah, but I would be mad if I went to a zoo and they had flamingos there and they were all not pink.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what am I paying for? This is nothing. Did you see that story about the guy who took a photo of a flamingo and entered it into an AI picture competition?
I did, but I ran out of time, so I didn't dig much into it.
It's funny because he entered this picture into like an AI image competition and he got disqualified because his was an actual photograph that had not been generated by AI, but it just looked like it was an AI photo because it was a flamingo, like you said, with its head tucked like to the side, but he took the photo from the side that the head was pointing away from, so it just looks like a ball of pink feathers on like one leg, and you can't really make out any like features of the flamingo, so it just looks like a ball of pink feathers.
Okay.
I think it was pretty.
Yeah, it's like a cake pop.
They are like a little cake pop. That's so true.
That would make a good cake pop design.
Well, that was great, darling. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you, dear listener, for spending this time with us. It means so much to have you here. Thank you. If you liked what you heard today, I would love it if you left behind some nice words for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. Links to everything will be in the episode description. If you have a cool animal you'd like to hear us talk about on the show, send those in to me at ellen@justthezooofus.com. If you want to learn more about our network and the other shows on it, and how you can be a part of supporting our show and get access to our exclusive bonus episodes that we do every month, head over to MaximumFun.org for that. And finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe it could include some crabs.
Some honks.
Some crab freestyling. Like
oh, right.
A sick beat for like the crabs to rap over. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.